Welcome to Software Code Review Training. Software code review is a process that involves examining and evaluating the source code of a software application. The goal of code review is to identify potential issues, errors, and areas for improvement in the code. Code review is typically conducted by one or more developers who review the code line by line and provide feedback on potential issues. The purpose of code review is to ensure the quality, security, and maintainability of the software application. By catching errors early in the development process, developers can avoid costly and time-consuming fixes later on. Code review is a collaborative process that involves multiple developers working together to improve the quality of the code. Peer code review is perhaps the most common type of code review, where one developer reviews the code of another developer. This approach allows for a more detailed examination of the code and can help catch errors that might be missed in automated reviews. Overall, code review is an essential process in software development that helps ensure that the software application meets the needs of its users and is of high quality. By examining and evaluating the code, developers can catch errors early, optimize the code for performance and efficiency, and ensure that the code is secure and maintainable over time. In this training, we will discuss how to do software code review effectively. There are 4 steps we need to follow for a software code review. 1. Prepare for the review. 2. Set expectations. 3. Review the code. 4. Provide feedback. Before you start the code review, you should prepare yourself by familiarizing yourself with the code base, the project requirements, and any relevant documentation. This will help you to understand what the code is supposed to do and what standards it must meet. You should also familiarize yourself with any coding guidelines, style guides, or best practices that apply to the project. Once you are prepared to start the code review, you should set expectations with the code author about what the review will involve. Explain your process and what you will be looking for. Let them know if you plan to provide feedback on both the code quality and functionality, or if you will focus on one or the other. Encourage the code author to ask questions and to participate in the review process. The next step is to review the code itself. Read through the code carefully, line by line, and try to understand the purpose of each section. Look for any errors, bugs, or potential issues with the code. Check for consistency in naming conventions, code structure, and formatting. Code review is a critical process for ensuring the quality and maintainability of software. When conducting a code review, there are several things you should look for to ensure that the code meets your organization's standards and best practices. Here are some key things to look for in a code review. Correctness. The code should accurately implement the requirements and specifications it is intended to address. Look for logic errors, boundary cases, and other potential issues that could cause incorrect behavior. Efficiency and performance. The code should be optimized for performance and efficiency. Look for areas where performance can be improved, such as optimizing algorithms, minimizing I/O operations, and reducing memory usage. Security. The code should be secure and free from vulnerabilities. Look for potential security vulnerabilities, such as input validation errors and SQL injection. Maintainability. The code should be easy to read, understand, and modify. Look for clean and concise code that follows established coding standards and conventions. Also, check for comments, documentation, and other aids to help future developers understand the code. Testing. The code should have proper unit tests, integration tests, and system tests in place to ensure it behaves as expected. Look for comprehensive test coverage and test cases that cover edge cases and boundary conditions. Scalability. The code should be scalable and able to handle increased load as the system grows. Look for potential bottlenecks or issues that could limit scalability, such as hard-coded values or a lack of caching. Error handling. The code should handle errors gracefully and provide helpful error messages. Look for error handling that catches and handles exceptions appropriately and provides meaningful feedback to users. Once you have finished reviewing the code, provide feedback to the code author. Be specific about any issues you have found and offer suggestions for how to fix them. Don't try to be constructive and avoid criticism that could discourage the code author. Focus on improving the code and meeting project requirements. Follow up. After the code review, it's essential to follow up with the code author to ensure that they understand your feedback. Make sure they have an opportunity to ask any questions or express concerns. Offer to provide additional support or guidance as needed. Document the review. Finally, it's important to document the review process and any feedback you provided. This will help both you and the code author track progress and stay on top of any issues that arise during the development process. In conclusion, software code review is a critical part of the software development process. By following the steps outlined above, you can conduct an effective code review that catches errors and bugs, improves the overall quality of the codebase, and ensures that the software meets the requirements set by the stakeholders. A thorough code review process can help to save time, reduce costs, and improve the quality of your software application.